When you think about rice, you probably just think of it as, well, a simple staple, right? A familiar part of a meal. But what if I told you that behind one particular kind of rice, there's an epic story of national pride, a 30-year scientific struggle, and a worldwide battle for its very name? Today, we're digging into the incredible story of ST25 rice. And this quote right here from a regular consumer in the US really just nails it. ST25 isn't just another category of rice like jasmine or basmati. To the people who know it, it's a specific brand, a seal of quality. And that difference, well, that's something that was earned through decades of unbelievable work. Okay, so to really get this story, we're going to do something a little different. We're actually going to start at the end, or maybe more accurately, at the moment of victory. So picture this, it's 2019 at the World Rice Conference, and boom, ST25 is crowned world's best rice. This was a huge, monumental first for Vietnam, a country that for so long was known for quantity over quality. And get this, it wasn't a fluke. ST25 has won or placed in the top tier multiple times since then. It's a certified global champion. But how in the world did it get there? To really appreciate that win, you have to rewind. You have to understand the journey, which started in a very different Vietnam. So after the war ended in 1975, Vietnam was in a tough spot. We're talking crippling food shortages that lasted for over a decade. By the late 80s, yeah, they were exporting rice again, but it was the cheap, low-grade stuff. Their reputation was for volume, not value. And it was right in the middle of all this that a new mission began. And at the absolute heart of this mission was an agricultural engineer named Ho Quang Cua and his small, super dedicated team. They looked at Vietnam's rich land and just knew it could do better. They had this dream of creating a Vietnamese rice that could stand tall with the best in the world. And this right here, this was their mantra, their guiding light. This very quote still stands at the gate of their research center. See, for them, it was never just about making a better grain of rice. It was about creating a better future for farmers and for the entire nation. So they had the mission, loud and clear. But the road to get there, wow. It turned out to be a 30-year marathon of incredible patience, brilliant innovation, and just pure, stubborn persistence. And they weren't aiming low either. Their goal was to go head-to-head with the legends, like Thailand's famous Hom Mali rice. The problem was, their own research showed a pretty tough reality. None of Vietnam's local rice varieties had the right stuff, genetically speaking, to get to that level. They had to create something completely new, basically from scratch. And the way they did it, it's just incredible. It all started with a bit of luck. They found a naturally mutated rice in their fields, ST3, that had this amazing aroma. Then came the really high-tech part. They used nuclear science, yeah, you heard that right, zapping parent seeds with cobalt-60 to create new mutations that made them way more productive. From there, it was years and years of careful crossbreeding, like being master chefs, sometimes combining up to 7 different parent lines to get that perfect blend of fragrance, texture, and yield. And all of that led them to ST24, and then to its even more famous successor, ST25. But all this amazing science wasn't just for a research paper or an award. No way. It had huge, real-world consequences. Just look at this number. Over $400 million. That's the extra profit that farmers in the Mekong Delta made in just a 15-year period from the early ST rice varieties. This wasn't just a trophy in a competition. This was a life-changing win for thousands of families. And if you want to talk about a good investment, this is it. For every single dollar that went into this kind of research, it generated an incredible $72 in economic benefits for the region. I mean, that's just an absolutely insane return. What's also really cool is how these new rice varieties fit perfectly into sustainable farming practices, like this rice shrimp system you see here. The rice actually helps clean the soil of salt after the shrimp are harvested. It's this brilliant symbiotic cycle that makes farmers more money while being better for the environment. And for the country as a whole, it was a total game changer. The success of ST25 completely flipped the script on Vietnam's reputation. It was no longer just a place for cheap rice, it was now home to the world's best. But you know how it goes. With that kind of success and that kind of global fame, a whole new battle was about to begin, one they never saw coming. It happened almost immediately.
Right after that 2019 win, companies, mostly in the US, just swarmed in trying to trademark the name ST25 for themselves. This table here, this is just a handful of the dozens of attempts to basically hijack a brand identity that took Ho Quang Cua and his team 30 years to create. And just like that, the market was flooded with fakes. You can see the difference here. It was a nightmare. Consumers had no idea what they were buying, and the reputation of the real, authentic ST25 was at huge risk. The battle had moved from the rice paddy to the courtroom.
But the creators, they weren't going to let that happen. They fought back, and they fought back hard. We're talking a massive, international legal war. They successfully challenged and shut down these fraudulent trademarks. They secured official protection for their brand in major markets all over the world. And they built up a network of trusted sellers so customers could finally find the real deal. You know, the story of ST25 is so much more than just a story about rice. It shows you that creating something truly extraordinary, well, that's only half the battle. The journey from a single, humble seed to a global icon took scientific genius, sure, and decades of patience, but it also took a fierce worldwide fight to protect its very soul. It really makes you think, doesn't it? In our modern world, what does it truly take to create and then safeguard a national treasure?